arrest has reportedly been made in the quadruple stabbing death of 4 college students.
The maximum penalty for this offense, if you were to plead guilty or be found guilty, is death or imprisonment for life. Do you understand?
Yes. I said early on that we're not going to let any stone go unturned, and I meant that.
More than 6 weeks after 4 University of Idaho students were mysteriously stabbed to death in a house near Moscow campus, the suspect was identified and taken into custody. The 4 slain students were Ethan Chapin, Madison Morgan, Xana Kennedy, and Kaylee Gonzalez. On the night of November 12th, Gonzalez and Morgan went out to the Corner Club bar in Moscow. Meanwhile, Chapin and Kennedy, who were dating, went to the Sigma Chi house Saturday night. At about 1:40 a.m., Gonzalez and Morgan were seen on video at Grab Truck.
After leaving the bar, the girls went to the Grub Truck just down Main Street from the Corner Club. It's about a 6-minute walk. They're seen in a video from the food truck, ordering food around 1:40 Sunday morning.
Chapin and Kennedy got home at about 1:45 a.m.
Police says all 4 victims were back at the King Road house, a little more than a mile from the food truck, by 1:45 a.m. Sunday, November 13th.
Kennedy got a DoorDash order at about 4 a.m. One of the surviving roommates said she woke up around 4 a.m. from what sounded like Gonzalez playing with her dog. A short time after, the roommate said she heard someone she thought was Gonzalez say something to the effect of "there's someone here." But that could have been Kennedy on her phone because records show she was on TikTok at about 4:12 a.m. The roommate said she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comment about somebody being in the house. She opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kennedy's room. The roommate then said she heard a male's voice say something to the effect of "It's okay, I'm going to help you." The roommate said she opened her door again when she heard the crying, and she saw a man in black clothes and a mask walking past her. She stood, frozen and in shock. The roommate says she did not recognize the man.
That she was 5'10" or taller, not a very muscular male, bushy eyebrows. She said that she froze up and he walked right past her.
On the morning of November 13th, the 2 roommates called friends over to their house because they thought one of the victims on the second floor had passed out and wasn't waking up. At 11:58 a.m., a 911 call from one of the roommates' phones requested help from an unconscious person.
Still this interesting question of she didn't call the police.
But it raises a question as what was happening in that period of time.
Responding officers then found the 4 victims. Authorities said they did not believe anyone at the house at the time of the 911 call was involved in the murders. After the bodies were discovered, authorities reviewed surveillance video and saw the suspect's white Hyundai Elantra go by the victim's house 3 times before entering the area for the 4th time at 4:04 a.m. The cops said they traced the car's travel that night back to Pullman, Washington, where Kohberger lived. Kohberger's phone was tracked heading to Moscow before the attack.
And the cops already have cell phone data that shows his phone was there at around 9 in the morning.
Right.
So this video would back that up.
Why go back?
But the phone was off from 2:47 a.m. to 4:48 a.m., which is consistent with Kohberger's attempting to conceal his location during the homicide. He also returned to the area of house where the 4 students were killed just after 9 a.m. Autopsies conducted on November 17 determined all victims were stabbed multiple times. The 4 students were probably asleep when attacked, and some had defensive wounds.
We confirmed that Kaylee's injuries were more significantly brutal than Maddie's.
In the November 28 interview, Gonzalez's father, Steve Gonzalez, told ABC News that the students died quickly and did not bleed for hours. So an earlier 911 call would not have saved their lives.
The detective looked me in his eyes. I have no doubt he's working as hard as he can. But somebody isn't communicating. There's nothing being released.
Moscow police had asked the authorities to look out for white Elantras. And on November 29th, a Washington State University police officer searched cars that matched that description at the university and found one registered to Kohberger. Grieving families and classmates gathered at the University of Idaho on November 30th for a candlelight vigil.
I want you to say their names. Ethan,
Zayna, Madison, Kaylee, and never forget.
On December 7th, police announced to the public that they were looking to speak with the driver of a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra that was seen in the immediate area of the victim's house early on November 13th. As the 1-month mark hit, Moscow Police Captain Roger Lanier said police are closely guarding the information that we discovered at the scene and our investigative information.
We got more investigators to the area for assistance, and we started putting together teams, and one of our team's sole job was to go through the King Road area, associated neighborhoods.
As the cops in Idaho searched for answers, Kohberger was stopped by Indiana police on December 15th for traffic violations. After Kohberger's semester at Washington State ended in December, he and his father drove across the country together to the family's Pennsylvania home. They drove the pre-planned road trip in the white Hyundai Elantra that authorities said they were looking for in connection to the murders. Kohberger and his father were stopped twice on December 15th while driving east of Indiana police.
Hey, good. Take a look at your driver's license real quick if I could. See, he's right up on that van, man.
After Kohberger's arrest, the Sheriff's Department and state police said there was no information at the time on the suspect in the Idaho crimes, or specific information on the white Hyundai Elantra. Authorities said DNA from the suspect was recovered on a knife sheath left on the victim's bed.
They did what's known as a parallel. They said, we're not going to use that genealogical evidence. We'll use it as a clue to direct us. We know that we probably have the right guy here, but let's get the DNA another way.
On December 27th, police recovered trash from Kohberger's parents' house in Pennsylvania.
They got the DNA from the garbage that returned to his father, 99.999%, and so that's when they said, time to write an arrest warrant. That's a classic parallel, and it was really well done.
Kohberger was arrested in Pennsylvania's Pocono Mountains in the early hours of December 30th. The family of Gonzalez told ABC News they don't know Kohberger and are happy, relieved, and thankful there's been an arrest. Kohberger, who was arrested for 4 counts of first-degree murder and burglary, agreed to be extradited to Idaho during his January 3rd court appearance in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. The Idaho State Court released court documents on January 5th that revealed never-before-seen details of the police investigation. Charges were read for the murders of each student.
Did willfully, unlawfully, deliberately, with premeditation, and with malice aforethought, kill and murder Xana Kernodle, a human being, by stabbing Xana Kernodle, from which she died.
Families were overcome with emotion as their child's name was read.